Hello and welcome. We're going to get into another video. This we're going to talk about the top teams in the Spring Cup for the season 20 something. I think it's season 26, motion in motion, whatever the season's name is called. And when I was looking at the Spring Cup, again, it seems that they just copy pasted the last Spring Cup, and Spring Cup is basically a cup we get around spring, but this season is kind of late, like 3 weeks into spring. Like spring started, I think, 3 weeks ago. But hey, Niantic is not always on time, and one of the more of like it, they are always 1 month behind. So what is Spring Cup? Basically water, grass, and fairy. I don't know what fairy has to do with spring, because I'm sure fairy type is Pokemon type that is active during the night, and spring is gonna be flowers. So flower type is grass and water. And I thought like some sort of ice, because ice in Canada started melting in spring. Like it just started melting. But I could be wrong, you know? Like I'm trying to apply logic into this game that doesn't work, as you guys know. So let's just head straight to the top teams, top Pokemons. If you go to PvP, the number one Pokemon is actually Shadow Empoleon. And it does make sense. Empoleon right now is the hottest topic, to be honest. It's just it's just the Pokemon that is everywhere in GBL, in competitive scene. In fact, like when Frostfire won, he had Empoleon, right? That's because Empoleon is just so freaking strong and so good of a Pokemon, and fighters don't exist, so technically that's the main reason. Followed by Tenta. Tenta used to be the number one Pokemon last Spring Cup. So it's still fighting in the top. Number 3 is also Empoleon, but not Shadow. Now, number 4 is like a bit controversial, like Tinkaton is number 4. I don't think Tinkaton is that good, because the main reason you're going to use Tinkaton in this cup is literally to bait out the Empoleon counters. So if you want to use something that's very nasty of a team, you're just going to put Empoleon and Tinkaton in one team and use one to bait out the steel counters. That's literally the main reason. Followed by Weezing. Weezing is actually a decent Pokemon here. I don't think you run Brutal Swing. You have to run Sludge because there are so many grass, and you have to run Overheat because there are so many Steel. So you don't run Brutal Swing in this cup. And then there is Victreebel, probably the best grass in this cup because it has Acid and Leaf Blade, which is the spammiest grass in this cup. Then there is Jellicent. What does Jellicent do? It's a great counter to Lapras, Empoleon, and Tentacruel. Like, that's the main reason why Jellicent is so good in this cup. Then there is Klefki. What does Klefki do? It beats everything above. Yeah, that's how good Klefki is. If you don't have yourself a Klefki, go get one. What if you can't find one? I mean, you could use a purified Mawile, but I think Klefki has foul play, while like Mawile doesn't have foul play. Like, that's the main reason why Klefki here, but not Mawile. There is Ferrathorn. Ferrathorn is decent. It's just basically a steel grass, and you can tell that it's a grass that is great into poison. I mean, that's Venusaur and Victreebel as well, right? There is Walrein. I think Walrein is one of the most underrated Pokemons here, because you have EQ for the steel, you have ice moves for the grass type. There is Lapras. Lapras actually was, I think, the best Pokemon with beside Tentacruel last time. But this time, it's just not the greatest, just because I think people will have a good IV Tinkaton, and get a good IV Tinkaton is great into Lapras because of the community day. Yeah, I forgot to play it. Yes, Walrein. Well, I didn't forget to play it. I just have a kid now, and I forgot I have a kid. Okay, I wanted to go out, and my wife was like, "The kid is awake. You have to take care of him." I was like, "Okay, I guess I will choose the kid today." So I had to stay and play with the kid. Followed by Araquanid. Araquanid is just a great Lapras counter. That was the main reason we used it last time. And Weezing, Galarian. One is Shadow, one is non-Shadow. A Pokemon that's not mentioned here I would like to talk about is this guy. I think the name of this Pokemon is Amoonguss. What does Amoonguss do? It's a grass with Astonish, similar to the Klefki and Mawile. It's the Pokemon type with it's whatever type plus Astonish, which makes it a very neutral Pokemon into everything. Now let's talk about basic meta teams, because people have been asking what's BML, basic meta teams. L is lineups, I think. So the top 3 PvPoke team, as you guys expected it, it's going to be number 2, 3, and 4. What is number 1? I'm going to let you guys decide. Are you going to use Shadow Empoleon or non-Shadow? I think Shadow is going to be better because we have 2 tanky Pokemons. With this team, you have to use the Shadow because you have 2 tanky Pokemons. You don't want to be like, oh my god, I'm struggling with damage. So the Shadow will like substitute like the damage losing by just having 2 tanky Pokemons. Well, technically this doesn't qualify as a tanky Pokemon, but it's a decent team. But that's not a team that I will be using. I'm gonna test out this solid ABB double grass team because I do enjoy Venusaur. If you guys watch my content, you would know that Venusaur is my favorite starter. Bulbasaur is my favorite starter, but like I love Venusaur because back in the days when I started using Venusaur, it was the first time I made it into leaderboard. It was the first time people started following me on Twitter because I think I had a popular like Venusaur team back in Ultra League Premier. It was Ampharos, Venusaur, and Gallade, like back during that time, something like that. And then you have Victory Bell in the back. What does Victory Bell do? Well, it has Acid and Sludge Bomb, okay, and then Leaf Blade for the water, so it's gonna shred them. So if you see like so many steel type Pokemons, how can we deal with the steel types? Well, there is one Pokemon in this cup that I need you guys to be aware of, okay? It's not the greatest Pokemon in this cup because it's not in the top 10, but it has a play into so many things and it's very spammy. And that Pokemon is Hisui Electrode. I literally have to mention this Pokemon twice just to remind people that there is a good electric type in this cup. I don't think Obama is as good as used to be, but last time we thought Obama will be bad, and then people started using Jellicent Among Us core, and then everyone just went back to Obama Snow. Like, that's literally how it went. I think Obama Snow, because people were using Pelipper, Jelly, and Lapras, so we had to use Obama as like kind of a code breaker into so many teams. Speaking of Jellicent, I think Jellicent is going to be insanely good in this cup because people are just going to run Tinkaton with Empoleon and Tentacruel, and Jellicent is one of very few Pokemons that can deal with all of these Pokemons. So you could play this team, which this team basically is literally you lead Jellicent, you soft lose the lead intentionally, or you grab a shield advantage, and then you just rely on Wheezing, just sweeping and overheating everything in the back. But what are you going to be using, Yasser? I am going to use Klefki. I am going to use an electric type. I still haven't decided whether it's going to be a Hisui Electrode or Lantern. And there will be a Pelipper on my team. I'm not sure about the Pelipper, but I am sure that I will be using this and either of those two. Pelipper might become just Among Us later, okay? Speaking of Among Us, if I run a team, I think this is what I used to run last season, which is basically Lapras double Astonish. I think this is just gonna switch into Empoleon this season. Like, this is, I'm just telling you guys. You could also use Mawile with Astonish. I mean, some people were trying to use Fire Fang because of the steel, but to be honest, just run Astonish, okay? You don't need to do that. And yeah, I tried to keep it short and straightforward. Don't forget to like the video if you like the content. If you see a hype button, guys, make sure to click on that. If it's free, okay? I don't know if it's not free, but I'm sure it's free. It's just like a new way to like videos and suggesting them to other people. So yeah, thanks so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and I will catch you all in the next video. Peace.